Oh, so come on in, y'all. Y'all know I love to talk about hair. I don't know if I'm on the right channel, so I'm gonna pause the video for a moment, but don't go nowhere. Okay. So, I've been really just talking to God about hair and different things like that about like 4C hair. And I want to talk to y'all what I learned, which has really improved my hair. See how strong my hair look now? It just looks really strong. Um, I'm gonna talk about what I learned, okay, about 4C hair care. And the bottom line with 4C hair is that most people who have 4C hair most likely have ancestors who might have been on the sunny parts of the world, but also the cold parts, really cold. But those parts of the world wasn't exactly abundant in empress food. Okay. So most likely our ancestors were trading, were were like trading with parts of the world that had the empress food, or they were immigrating to parts of the world that had the empress food, like Native Americans, even African Americans that were, Native American Indians immigrated to the Himalayan mountains where we know there's fish, there's Asian people out as well, there's the Asian food, which is the empress food. Asian food is primarily empress food, okay? Which is why Asian people's hair can grow so fast. The empress is known for her fast growing hair. So our ancestors realized that they couldn't stay in one location if they wanted the benefits for certain things like hair growth, skin. So they immigrated, okay, and that's why we have some black people that look lighter, that look, even darker. There was a border. There's a border on the eastern border that was allowing us to trade with the Asians, the Africans, and even the Europeans. So there was things that we had that they needed, such as we had petroleum, a form of petroleum that would allow them to make their stuff thicker. They had some things that would allow us, some fruits that would allow us to grow our hair faster. African Americans, especially people with 4C hair, is commonly deficient in vitamin B and vitamin D. And one of the reasons is because we're not raised on the food. See what I'm saying? I don't remember being raised to eat kale. I don't remember my mom making a big bucket of kale for us. Okay. I don't remember her cooking zucchini all the time for magnesium and folate and K vitamin for hair. I don't remember her cooking zucchini on a daily basis. The type of foods a lot of black people with 4C hair was raised on was more solely food. Okay. That food doesn't have an abundance of vitamin B and vitamin D. It doesn't. Oxtails is not as abundant in vitamin B as fish. So I'm not trying to laugh at soul food, but that's the thing. The soul food might make you gain weight fast and give you a booty real quick, but it doesn't do much for your hair. I know this because when my mother switched to giving me and my sisters more of an Asian and fish Mexican diet, all of our hair started growing faster. I didn't even realize it until I went back and looked at the pictures when we were young and was like, wait a minute. My mother was cooking at that time. So she was cooking foods, a bunch of foods that was high in vitamin B and vitamin D. But when we were real little, my mother was cooking soul food because my grandmother was in our life. So she was cooking what my grandmother cooked. But once my mother moved out of my grandmother's house with us, she met my stepfather, who was Mexican and Italian. She switched over to the Empress diet. I don't know if she knew she was giving us Empress food, but she was. So the thing is you can use whatever products you want outside here, okay, outside of here on your hair. But the bottom line is most of the work comes from within. And that's just the truth. When I went back and I looked at pictures of me with my hair flat ironed and long, I was thinking, what was I eating? I was once again eating an Empress diet. As soon as I switched off that and started eating like takeout food, pizza, hot dogs, hamburgers, when I switched to that, my hair started shedding more and actually started growing slower. Every single time I switch back to the Empress diet and I go to the salon, the manager or the stylist will say, your hair is growing fast. So I know that that's true, what I'm telling y'all. So the thing is if you are black, get rid of the soul food culture. I know you say it might taste good. You might like your cornbread, but you're better off with a seed bread. You're better off with a rice patty. If you want to look your best as an empress, if you want your hair to grow, if you just want to eat for taste, then go ahead and eat your cornbread. But that's not going to do much for growing your hair unless it is oatmeal cornbread. So the very first thing is to have at least 3 different things in your diet that will allow you to load up with vitamin B and vitamin D, vitamin K, iron, and protein through seeds or fish. So at nighttime, if you are trying to grow your hair nice, thick, and strong, see how thick this is? This is thick. Very, very thick. If you're trying to grow your hair nice and thick and filling it out and get your edges to come back in and everything, you want to have your nighttime meal definitely be the estrogen meal, because that is going to be definitely used in your sleep. Okay? So at nighttime, your last meal should be like zucchini, cucumber seeds, maybe tuna, um, blueberries, berries. If you ever notice people that drink a lot of wine, like Italian women, their hair is long. They're drinking a lot of wine because wine is abundant in berries, and berries is an elite superfood for empress growing hair. So consider drinking more berries and grapes. Have like 2-3 cups of berry juice a day. Cranberries, see the cranberries in here. All right, cranberries, berries, zucchini, things like that. I noticed the moment I started doing this again, just over the last 2 months, my hair not snapping in the comb. Like the dead hair just comes out of the comb, but the hair's not fragile. It's not like, it's not fragile. So that tells me like my vitamins are giving me the strength in my hair. When I got my blood work done a month ago, they said, your blood work looks great. Perfect. They said nothing's wrong with your kidneys. Everything looks good. Now, the funny thing is, nothing was looking good when I wasn't eating this. See, the Empress rules the liver, the genitals, and also the lungs. See? And the brain, believe it or not. The crown chakra, the liver, the lungs, and the genitals. Okay, but mostly, and the high priestess also rules the hands, if I recall, the hands. So here's another thing. If you're unsure about the health of your hair, look at your hands. Like, that's like the truth. Okay, High Priestess has long hair as well, very long hair. So if your nails are growing fast, then you're doing something right. So if I notice my nails, I could bite my nails down today, and in 3 days there's nails here. Literally, that's how fast they're growing right now. So that tells me that my hair is getting enough protein where I know that I'm going to get hair growth too. The thing is, I have to remember, how am I doing this? So what I've been eating, as I said, the berries, cranberries is literally an elite fruit for growing hair. It's a hidden hair growing fruit that a lot of people don't know. When my hair was at its longest, literally flowing down to here, I was walking around with a jug of cranberry juice every day. I was drowning cranberry juice when I was pregnant. And people were like, "Oh, your hair is so long and so healthy. Wow." People would say, "Is your hair fake?" When my hair is flat ironed, of course, it's longer than this. This is shrunken and tight, okay, because it's natural. But when my hair was flat ironed, people would ask me if it was fake, and I was always drinking through my day blueberries, berries, cranberries. This was like my go-to, and sunflower seeds. When you say butters grow your hair, butters is not growing your hair. What is growing your hair in the butters is actually the seed oil. If you notice in the Matrix hairline, Cream of Nature hairline, they all have one thing in common: seed oil. It's the seed oil, and it's the almond butter. Almond is the empress nut. That's the nut that the empresses eat. Almonds, walnuts, and seeds grow your hair fast. So if you buy a hair product, a butter, and it doesn't have a variety of seed oils, if it doesn't say seed oils, then you're probably not going to get the growth. You might get the moisture, but you will not get the growth like you want. Okay. Also, you got to keep in mind that when you putting these products in your hair, are you doing it daily? When you're eating food daily. See what I'm saying? So at least every other day, even if your hair is twisted, you have to do your scalp. You have to. If you put your scarf on at night and you have this stuff on your head, when you wake up, your scalp then already drank all that. Your scalp then gobbled up whatever that it needs to grow. So at least every 48 hours, like a plant. Would you go a whole week without watering your plant? No. That plant would struggle. So every couple days, you got to do your scalp. Even if you don't do your actual hair. 4C hair people tend to twist their hair, go a whole week, and then say, "Oh, it's time to wash." The thing about that is you weren't feeding your hair during the week. At some point, your hair had 3 days, your scalp had 3 days of starvation. So if you want your hair to get the hair growing boost, you would have to have a shampoo and conditioner to do the work, since you didn't do the work in the middle of the week. So you have to treat your scalp every couple days, because 4C hair people they often have a blood type that is sensitive to getting bacteria and toxins. So if you go days without treating your scalp, the toxin community gets to build up fast. Okay, your immune system doesn't fight it like people with 4B. Normally people with 4A and up, they're not normally with a B blood type. Okay, most 4C girl people's hair have B blood type. Which you ever see Asians with B blood type, often they have 4C type of hair. There are Asians on YouTube with 4B, 4C looking hair because they have the blood type. The hair always goes with the blood type. My sister has a looser texture because she is AB. Me and my little sister have the same blood type, so we both have 4C here. My mother has the same, a much looser texture than me and my sister, but my mother has only one of the blood type my little sister has. My dad has the identical hair texture as me. My dad, before he died, and he is the exact same blood type as me. So, all you got to do is look up the health risk for that blood type. You can look it up online. I found it before. And you'll see that for your hair type and your blood type, you will most likely be fighting things different than the other hair textures and blood types. With 4B, you have to work very hard on your pH. Detoxing your scalp is critical. You cannot skip on it. You cannot skip. If you ever look at some Africans that are B type or that is AB, they are literally detoxing. They're literally going in on their scalp. Okay. Rosemary is one of the most powerful oils for detoxing your scalp, actually. It moisturizes, but it also has a way of cleansing your scalp. It's also a cleanser, which is why when you put it in your hair, like and your hair is itchy, you'll notice the itching stop. The itching didn't stop because it's magic. The itching stop is because it started to kill some of the bacteria that is causing the itching. So every couple days, apply tea tree and rosemary just on your scalp. Now, here's the thing. If there's no heat, there's no growth. What actually stimulates hair growth is Kinley on the scalp. Kinley. Blood type 4C with the blood type A, B, or B. It is used to cold and hot climate. It's an adaptable hair texture and hair blood type. So that means you still have to use both temperatures when you wash your hair. So you at some point you have to turn the heat down. You don't have to turn it cold, ice cold. But when you rinse the shampoo and conditioner out, you have to turn the temperature down to make it a little cooler. Since the blood type attached to 4C here likes both temperatures. So right after you seal your hair and it's nice and cool when you're sealing it, you want to put the oil in, rubbing it to stimulate heat on your scalp to stimulate the heat, or you want to put the oil in warm. The warm on top of the cool scalp is going to be very satisfying to your blood. I know we say, well, blood's in my body, but blood is literally, it's still in essence, okay? That stuff you're putting in you is going into your bloodstream. It's going in. So you feed your blood what it wants. It will serve the body as well because the blood flows through you. So you have to get your blood work done to find out where your struggle areas are. The blood tests at the laboratories don't lie, okay? If you have low iron, you might as well forget about your hair thriving. The hair is going to be dry, brittle, breaking, falling, everything. It's just going to be trash. Why do you think a lot of women over 40 say, my edges are gone, I'm bald-headed, my hair is falling out? Women over 40 struggle with iron deficiency and folate. So even if you don't know, okay, if you have an iron deficiency, you're better off still taking the iron supplement. If you have heavy periods, that's why your hair is falling out. You're losing too much iron, and iron helps oxygen in your blood vessels. That's what the doctor told me. And if the oxygen flow and circulation is blocked, then not enough circulation is getting to your hair for hair growth. Iron is critical for oxygen flow, so circulation can be undisturbed in your body. This is what the doctor told me. A lot of black people are dying from strokes, heart attacks due to blockage, circulation problems. And if you ever look at them, they're the same black people whose hair looked like it just stopped growing. Okay, when my mom died, it looked like her hair didn't grow in years. She should have had hair down to here, but her hair just never, ever, ever, ever went to here for years. Okay, back in the day it did, but when she got over 40, it never, ever. It would fall out. Once it hit this point, it would fall out. And she would just keep it cut because she got tired of it. What she didn't know is that her vitamin B and iron was blocked, which was causing her fatigue. Her body also was low in magnesium. When you're over 40, I don't care if you're a man or woman, your magnesium plummets, your iron plummets, and your vitamin B. If those are not fixed, none of these products will work. None of them, okay? I tried with all three deficiency and nothing ever worked. My blood was having the last say, okay? It was having the last say. So go get the injections if you got to. My sister was going all bald through her hair. You know what? She had a vitamin B deficiency. She went and got the injections, hair nice and long. She got a nice wrap going on. Okay? When the problem with black people is that the meat source we was raised on is not that abundant in vitamin B. Okay? It's not. If you ever notice elderly people, some of the elderly women in the nursing homes, their hair don't grow that fast. It seems like it grow here and stop. But if you ever notice, they're all taking supplements for like magnesium, vitamin D, vitamin B, because vitamin B is connected to dementia. If low vitamin B is connected to dementia, then it's also affecting your hair growth when it's low. Okay? This is why the women in the nursing homes who eat all their greens, who eat all their fruit, you see that they're not bald-headed. But the ones that the nurses got to fight to eat their vegetables, their hair not really growing. They got to keep their hair cut short or it looks a mess, all raggedy. So zucchini. I know zucchini does it because every single time my hair grows sped up, I was always eating this. Okay? Magnesium and kale as well. All right. Now, here's the reason why our ancestors seemed like they had hair that was flowing all over the place. They weren't just getting the vitamins through food. We are depending on food. They was drinking it all day. If you're drinking mineral water and vitamins all day long, you got a canteen, you're drinking all day long, you're bathing in it, you're washing your hair in these minerals, of course your hair is going to thrive, going to grow faster. So consider the fact that you need to add some trace minerals to your actual water or start buying mineral water. That way, you're getting the extra vitamin hit in. Prenatal vitamins, believe it or not, are actually putting you at the level that you should be with your vitamins, even if you weren't pregnant. I don't know why they say, oh, call them prenatal. Why don't they just say This is what we all should be at. These are the levels we all should be at, period. But they love to slap a label on and say pregnancy. But anyway, if you ever notice when you take prenatal vitamins, even when you're not pregnant, and then you go to the doctor and get checked, they'll be like, "Oh, your levels look really good," and it's like, "Well, why didn't you give me prenatal vitamins from the start?" Why do I have to be pregnant to take these vitamins? Why are you only recommending me to take prenatal when I'm pregnant then? Um, I'm not gonna say what I think why they operate like that, because I don't want nobody hitting the report button. So I have my own theory on why the medical world operates like that, but I'll be quiet. Okay. Now, the thing is, every time your scalp itch, it doesn't mean wash day. Okay. One thing I found out is, foresee here people panic. They say, itchy scalp, wash time. No, that itching is actually, that's a good sign, because you now know what's going on. Okay. If you don't feel the itching, then you don't know that something's happening with your scalp. You're allergic to something, or something is you have a hidden yeast in there, or there's something going on in your scalp. So at least the warning is there. Some hair products will actually agitate the colony in your scalp. Even the forget what they're called. They're in your eyes too. The parasites is in your scalp will agitate them, and so they will, kind of get irritated, and then it will irritate your scalp, and then you're itching. So don't be so quick to just run and wash your hair and strip everything out. I mean, when you get a little itch in your arm, do you run immediately to the shower? No. When you say, oh, my back itch, do you run immediately to the shower? No. So stop doing that and have a designated shampoo day. Any other days, if you got no choice but to deal with your scalp drastically, you're better off just rinsing it. Okay, some peppermint water and rinsing it like that, but do not shampoo it yet. Okay. For example, my family member, I said, how come your hair is so beautiful and it grows so fast? And they said, I only shampoo my hair once a month. But I noticed that every single day they like hard comb their scalp. They're like this. Okay. And I noticed that anytime they can't take it anymore, they might just go ahead and just rinse their hair. But they never ever shampoo their hair before a month. I know y'all think that that's gross, but your products are also doing some of the cleaning. These oils you're putting in are doing some of the work. You're sweating, and that's doing some of the work. So don't be so quick to just say it always needs shampoo. I know it's hard, and sometimes the itching in your scalp is actually static. I know we want to believe like, oh, that's a bug or whatever. That's something. No, sometimes it's just the static, your hair moving. It's just static in your hair. Because I actually had my scalp checked before, and the stylist was like, there's nothing's wrong with your scalp. And I'm like, okay, it must be maybe I'm allergic to something that I ate that's causing the itching, because they don't see a fungus and my hair is thriving. Okay. All right. So what I like to do here, if I happen to get a little itch, I simply will take a wet like a wet napkin, and go down the parts, just to refresh the scalp, refresh it. And then I will put the rosemary back on there. Okay. But I tried to avoid washing my hair right after I did it. Now this time I didn't put sulfur 8 in there. I didn't put no sulfur in there. Okay. I probably should have greased in between, like our ancestors, like my grandma used to do. But the reason why I didn't is because I really didn't want the product build up yet. What I learned is that grease, like for greasing your scalp, for moisturizing your scalp, that literally is supposed to be very close to shampoo time. Because once grease sits in your hair for like a week, it actually becomes like stale and like spoiled milk. So I find it like a week before shampoo time, then put the grease in. So I may just take, just part the hair along the edges and put the grease in or whatever, like that. All right, and just like that. Or just go ahead and do a peppermint and tea tree oil water rinse on my hair. That will be like a week before shampooing the hair. That way I don't have to worry about like, oh, this has been sitting in my hair. This grease and oil been sitting in my hair so long. So I really hope that this helped y'all to understand. Go on the inside of you first. If you're having weak or fragile hair, go and literally just start stuffing yourself with B vitamins, D vitamins, iron. Get you some sulfur supplements like MSM. And I know that my hair got stronger once I started taking an MSM vitamin. And when I looked on the bottle, it says magnesium and sulfur in there. And I think B vitamins too. So that's proof. Okay. Now here's something that I want to say. When 4C people say my hair don't grow, you have trained it to expect a haircut. If you've been in this cycle of cutting your hair every 3-4 months, trimming, your hair is literally expecting that. Like it's almost like it's on a circadian clock, trained to expect a haircut. You have to stop cutting it for a while so it doesn't go into like, oh, I'm probably about to get a haircut. It doesn't expect a haircut. I know we think that hair doesn't have consciousness, but it actually do. If this is growing out of my head, it has consciousness. Okay? It's connected to my consciousness. And my consciousness is set on a time clock of when it knows I cut my hair normally. So my consciousness is sending signals to my hair that, hey, get ready. You're about to get your 3-month cut. So then my hair is like, why do you think after you get haircuts and you keep getting them haircuts at the same time, your hair starts to feel so fake and stiff? You'd be like, wait a minute, why is my hair stiff 3 days after I left the salon? It's in shock. It's not the product. They're using the right stuff on your hair. They're licensed stylists. It's literally shock. Your hair is shocked. So if you've been cutting your hair and you're like, but oh, my split ends. We didn't have scissors. Ancestors did not have sharpened scissors. They didn't have sharpened scissors. So as a matter of fact, they were like doing stuff where they were like going like this so the dead hair and the ends would just come off on their own through the brushing process. So when you say my hair is shedding, those are dead ends that you didn't cut, so your hair is releasing them. And that's okay. It's not your hair actually falling out. It's all the dead ends leaving your hair. Like for real. It's all the dead ends that's been trapped in, woven in, at the top, at the bottom, whatever, gone. Okay? When people say the hair split up, no, what you're seeing is all the new growth. Okay? Those ends were already dead. Like all that's new growth. Your hair splits up when the way you're combing it. Normally split ends don't split all the way up if you're not over combing it. Okay, there's a girl on YouTube with 4C hair like mine, and she literally talks about this. Like finger combing your hair slow or getting the wide tooth comb so you don't make any split ends worse. And you twist the hair up. And once the hair is grown at a certain length that you like, then you can get those split ends cut. But until then, don't touch the split ends. I know y'all was told something different. Like try to wait as long as you can, like once a year. Once a year. And by that time, you will have gotten a plenty of growth at the top where you won't feel like you're sacrificing hair when you get rid of those split ends. When people say, oh, somebody's hair grow fast with locks, it's because they're not disturbing the hair, okay? They're leaving it alone, and the split ends are not being allowed to go all the way up. If there were split ends, the split ends are locked in and left alone. The new growth is coming in, coming in, coming in, coming in. And then when they go to the loctician might look and say, okay, your locks got some raggedy ends. We're going to snip them. They're not going to care because they have plenty of new growth through the entire year. We know the biggest purge season is like October. Okay? June, you might want to trim your hair in October. But a trim is literally, it's meant to make the dead ends, the kind of trims you should get if you're growing your hair out, is to make the dead ends not so raggedy. Okay? Then you can easily take, no lie, where the dead ends are in your hair, you can take them ends and roll them up and put a hair tie around where the dead ends stop at. And this way also you can monitor your growth and where the dead ends began on your hair. This way when you go to finally take it out that month, you're like, okay, I can snip where the band is at. And then, I got some growth. Or just wait 4 months. You can leave your hair twisted for 4 months and just rinse the hair. Rinse the hair, shampoo the hair with the hair rinse. But keeping the dead end that's rolled up in the hair tie like this. See? See, right at the thingy. And then when it's time, when you're like, oh, I got enough growth, I can cut this off now. Then you just cut that off and then retwist your hair. Your hair is going to be back to the length that it was before you cut the split end. So you're not going to be triggered like, oh, my hair is shorter. It ain't. It's at the same length it was before you cut the split end off. So you could do it like that. When I was little growing up, my mother would roll our ends, even if they were dead, okay, and put a bolly around it or a plastic hair tie. And then once our hair got like really long, she would then cut that up to that split end. But I noticed like until it was trim day, she would use a wide tooth comb. When you use a narrow comb with split ends, you risk making the split ends worse. So if you got split ends, use a bigger comb. The hair has to be really slippery so that you don't make the split ends go up higher. The split ends will go up higher if you're combing your hair while it's dry. When you comb your hair after a takedown, your hair better be slippery as hell. Okay, because you may got some split ends during your hair setting from braiding and snatching the edges and whatever, and you don't want them to go up higher. So what you're going to do is you're going to oil your hair. This is going to sound crazy. Before you shampoo your hair, you're going to actually oil it and pre-wet it. Okay? And then you're going to comb with the leave-in conditioner. The leave-in conditioner is really for removing dead hair. When my stylist, my licensed stylist, did my hair last time, she said, I'm combing through your hair to get any tangles and dead ends out. We're using the leave-in conditioner so the comb goes through and only catches what is dead. She explained that to me. Because dead ends come out even if your hair is slippery. If they're loose, if they're already loose and laying in your hair. So the leave-in conditioner or a really liquid moisturizer is really good to use before shampoo. So let's say you want to shampoo your hair. You're going to pre-moisturize your hair, combing through the hair to get all the dead hair out. Okay? If you are taking down your hair while it's bone dry, that's probably why you're getting more breakage. So before you even take down your hair, make your hair oily wet. Like literally spray it like shh, and then take it down. Okay? Take out the stuff. Now, I am not cutting any ends for at least another year because I'm retraining my hair to not expect haircuts. When some of y'all will ask me how long your hair is, I was a haircut queen over the last few years. Every 2-3 months, haircut. Every 2-3 months, haircut. I realized that it was training my hair to expect the cuts. When I didn't get my cut like I normally would get like 3 months ago, I could tell like, why is my hair going stiff? Stiff. It was like, oh, you're going to cut me. I said, you know what? I see what's going on here. So I just said, no more trim, no more hair cuts. If you're cutting more than 2 inches of hair, you got a haircut. That is no longer a trim. Okay? Your hair is going to feel those scissors. It's going to sense pain. If you like cut like this much, y'all, your hair is going to be like, it's going to know that you cut it. So gradually pecking at it with little snips, little trims, keeps it from going in shock. No different than when you trim your plant in your house. You're not just snatching dead leaves off everywhere like, ah. If you notice, the plant grows slower after that. You have to like, oh, I'll take this leaf off now, and I'll take that one off later. I'll get the rest tomorrow. That's how you got to do even with your plants so they don't go into shock. So the first thing is stop cutting your hair. Twist your hair up for a month and leave it like that. When you take it down, your hair is dripping oily wet. You're using a big comb. If you need a better combing, then you want to use your hands. Okay? Now, one thing I found out is this causes split ends. This. Okay? The licensed stylist said never do that. They were actually ready to refund my money because one of the student stylists did that to my hair. The manager was upset, said, never ever do that. And she said, next time you come back, the service will be free. The manager was so pissed that the student did that to my hair. What did I notice? Raggedy ends after that. I noticed raggedy ends because she was going like this. Okay? You don't go like this. You go like this. This is how you're supposed to do it. The only time you can go like this is when you're only touching the scalp like this. But when you're shampooing your hair, you're going like this. Okay? No fingers. I know that sounds wild because it's like, that's not washing my hair. It actually is if you're going like this. Okay? I noticed that less hair coming out after I shampoo when I started doing like this instead of like this. Hi, everybody. Okay. Now here's the thing about 4C hair. Your hair is like, well, just accept it. Stop trying to make it slick. Stop trying to make it tamed. Stop trying to make it slick down like you got a little texturizer, relaxer in it. What you're doing is stressing your hair out. You're saying that you don't like it. You're shading your own hair. You're shading it. So a couple days after you put your products in, don't be like, oh, why is it looking woolly again? Why is it? Because it's returning back to its natural state of being. Okay? So don't say, oh, I need to go ahead and re-smooth this down. No, see, you're messing with it. You're disturbing the piece of your hair, converting back, locking up like it does when you have locks in your hair. You're disturbing the process of it locking up to retain that moisture. When you do like this and you're just smoothing down your 4C hair days after, you're disturbing the moisturization process. It wants to go like this. When I first twisted this hair, it was longer. 2 days later, look at it up here. I literally just did this one and it's going up. Okay. When I first did these, they was hanging. These was even looser. They went shorter and they swelled up. That is a sign your hair is getting moisture. Like this one right here. Look at this. See? This wasn't this thick. When I did it, it was super skinny when I first did it. One thing else I learned about 4C hair, it does not like micro hairstyles. If you're looking for split ends, you're going to get them in the micro hairstyles. Okay. I was doing micro finger coils 3 months ago. Breakage. So the only way you can prevent breakage from micro curls in 4C hair is if it's been roller setted with a slippery mousse. If you roller set your hair with gel, you're getting breakage. Let me say that one more time. I actually had a licensed manager tell me this and correct a stylist for roller setting my hair with gel. She said, never ever roller set 4C hair with gel. It might look glorious. You might say, oh, this look laid. But when that gel starts to dry, okay, either you're going to have to hurry up and wash it out, or your hair is going to get too crispy. What you don't want is your hair to get crispy. Once it gets to the crispy stage, it's bird's nest, breaking wood, chopped bark type of hair. It's breaking, okay? So if you like on a fourth day and you're like, this is feeling crispy. It's feeling too dry. I'm feeling too much crispiness. When I squeeze, I don't feel no moisture. Then you need to re-moisture your hair. You're going to have to spray your hair with water and a moisturizer to re-moisturize your hair. Now, of course, if your moisturizer don't have a frizz buster in it, you're going to be like, oh, my hair is frizzy. But what you can do is simply just reapply some of your frizz taming gel. That's all. You're just going to reapply it on the hair like that, like this, if you want to tame some of your frizz after you put water and moisturizer in your hair because your hair is feeling crispy. Normally by the end of the week, 4C hair feels crispy. The moisture is not, you can feel that there's not no moisture in it as much. So then you're like, oh, let me get my moisturizer and my water and spray my hair. Because there is already gel in the hair, the twisting gel is still going to lock in the moisturizer when I put it in. Okay, still going to work with the new moisturizer I put in. Now, one thing I found out about this moisturizer right here, the reason why this moisturizer works, it works. We were using this in the 90s. I used it for many years when my hair even was longer before I was getting haircuts. The reason why this works is because when in the 90s, we weren't just putting it on our hair. Nowadays, when people use lotions, hair lotions, this is what they're doing. When we were putting it on in the 90s, we were literally combing it through or brushing it through with a Denmark brush. We were brushing the oil moisturizer through, so it was on the scalp. Okay, it was on the scalp. So that was speeding up hair growth because of the aloe and the castor oil. So if you got a moisturizer that you cannot apply to your scalp, it's not even worth using. Okay, when you pick a moisturizer, you're picking moisturizers that have the ingredients that will grow your hair, not just for sealing in moisture. You're looking at it like, okay, if I put this on my scalp, will it grow my hair? Hold on, y'all. Hansi. What is it? What is he over there whining about? See how this has seed oil in it. Okay, this is okay, but it isn't as strong as the aloe vera and castor oil. Now, here's one thing I found out. Sometimes, I know in Africa, they blend their stuff. They will take more than one ingredient and make their own. They'll make their own moisturizer. So, hold on, y'all. I'm on a live video. Go around. Okay. So, I highly recommend that. Hold on, y'all. Just making sure. Okay. I highly recommend that, like, if you're using like two different moisturizers and they don't bother your scalp, you're better off blending them together or taking some of the ingredients out of this one and putting it in your favorite. So this has seed oil in it, but this don't. So you see the problem? So I could easily say, I'm gonna get me some seed oil and put it in this. And then I'll just work with this kind only with the seed oil in it. If you notice when you go to the salon and you go get your 4C hair done, you'll notice that every time they recommend a product to you, it has seed oil in it. Like when they say, oh, Matrix Hairline, seed oil. Oh, Mazzani, seed oil. Oh, Cream of Nature. Oh, Design Essentials, seed oil. So I started noticing the similarities with the 4C Hair professional products. So seed oil is definitely abundant. So I know that our body does the work in our sleep. Okay? In our sleep. So before you go to bed is the perfect time to actually re-moisturize your hair. Okay? It's the perfect time. Notice I'm not putting it on my 2-strand twist because I already twisted them. I'm putting it on my actual scalp. As I said, sometimes your hair is itchy all because it's dry. It's not necessarily because it needs washed. If you just washed your hair 2 days ago, it don't need washed when it's itchy. It needs neutralized. Okay? That's what it needs. It needs more moisture to the scalp. All right. There we go. Now, if y'all want to know the hair twisting gel that I use is this one. Okay? Now, the thing about using this requires, if you go to take down your hair using this one, you're definitely going to have to saturate your hair real good. But I like the fact that this gel lasts a long time. Like your hair is going to stay twisted. I think it's because of the coconut. Coconut is for twisting hair. It's for sealing. That's what it does. It's a sealer. It's a powerful sealer. It hardens fast. So if you're having trouble with sealing moisture in your 4C hair, you want to use the coconut or the avocado. But the avocado is going to be better because the avocado is going to give you a smoother sealing. Okay, the coconut's not going to be as smooth as sealing as avocado unless the coconut is combined with almond butter. So if you put coconut and almond butter, okay, now the sealing is smoother. But if you don't want to do all that, just use avocado as your sealant. Okay, you can actually buy, I think, avocado braid twisting gel. All right. Now, notice I didn't say I'm using this to finger coil my hair. Because if I did use this to finger coil my hair, I cannot disturb the coils because they're going to be stiff because of the coconut. Okay? So, it's either if I curl my hair, if I roller set my hair with this, I can't disturb the curls. Okay? I would have to leave them just as they are once it dries. So if you, like I said, if you roller set your 4C hair with gel, you cannot disturb it once it dries. You cannot disturb it without wetting it again. You would have to wet those. You would have to wet those roller set curls before you even mess with those curls because you're going to get some breakage because the gel is dry. Never ever take down your hair dry when the gel is dry in your hair. I cannot stress that, y'all. Take it from someone that knows. I am still trimming some dead ends. I only got a little bit. I trimmed these. I had to trim these. Here, see these? Because the gel was dry on the ends, and I took them down and they snapped. Okay. Yeah, the castor oil is perfect for like resealing your ends. So like just taking the castor oil every couple days. I know we say, oh, I sealed my end as soon as I did my hair. That's not enough. 4C hair is like a goblin of products. This is what the stylist told me. She said, load your hair up with products. She said, it gobbles up the product, literally. So every couple days, you're just going to go through your ends again. If you don't like grease, you could use the hair lotion with castor oil. Okay? If you're so worried about your ends breaking from being exposed, then all you're going to do is roll them up. See? You're just going to roll them up. You know, put an elastic band around it like that. That way the ends are protected. Okay? Now, at some point I can tell you right now, if the climate, if it's too cold, if it's icy cold outside, then what you want to do is you want to style your hair where the ends of your hair is not showing. Okay? You can roll it up like this to tuck the end in. See? You can tuck them in like this and bobby pin it like that. You can just do a bunch of them like that. Or you can marry them like this and then kind of tuck them in. Tuck them under. Tuck them in. So the cold air doesn't really attack the ends. Okay? But I highly recommend that if you are traveling through the freezing cold air at night and stuff like that, and you're 4C hair, you're better off just wearing your scarf. Put a scarf over your head with a wool hat or whatever. Okay? 4C hair likes that heat feeling, that steam. So it's working in your favor to just, to travel with your scarf off. And if you're going on a date, you can easily duck into the bathroom, take your scarf off, and then go sit down at the table. Okay? But if you're traveling through the cold, through the bus stop from work, and it's winter, get you a really cute winter hat. Put your scarf on with your winter hat over it. Okay? Over it. Or you can get a scarf band. You can turn your scarf band and you can tuck the ends in and just have the scarf go like this. You can have the scarf go like this, where your ends is still hidden. See, the ends are not exposed. The ends of your hair is not exposed. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna let y'all see my hair. See how strong it's looking. It's looking really strong, y'all. I see shedding as a blessing. I realize now that shedding is not like, oh, my hair is falling out. You'll know when your hair is falling out because you will literally be like, where is my edges? You know, when your hair falls out, your edges normally is one of the main things that fall out. So if you notice your edges ain't falling out, if you notice your hair is not getting shorter, then don't worry about the shedding. Okay, your hair could be releasing the dead ends because it's thriving. You know, it's like, I'm going to kick the dead ends out since you haven't cut them out. If you haven't trimmed your hair in like 6 months, you will get some heavy shedding at some point. Let me show y'all. Did you throw it out? What happened to it? Oh, here it goes. This is how much shedding I got in what? It's been about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. This is how much I got. Okay. This may look like a lot, but it's not. It only looks like a lot because the hair is long and curled. Okay, long and curled. The average hair sheds 100 strands a day. So if we like with the count 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. So I'm pretty much dead on with how much I really should be shedding in almost 2 weeks. This is about right. Okay. And I also noticed my hair longer. When I took it down yesterday, I was like, woo, this is longer. Yeah, castor oil. Somebody asked me about castor oil. Really, between your washes, what you're trying to do is control the growth of bacteria on your scalp. You're trying to keep it down. So you should be worried about just like scalp treatments, you know, like let me do the scalp, you know. At some point when it gets very close to your wash day, you want to start pre-treating the middle, your scalp. So you want to start doing this like this. Start lifting some of the dandruff. Okay? You can do that like that. Or you can take your regular parting comb like this, y'all. And this is like like a couple days before wash day. You're going to go like this. You just kind of go in, to kind of help, okay? Like that. Right before wash day. Just like that. Now you can do this also every couple days. This is going to lift any of the dandruff. And then you can take a wet nap, and just wipe your hair. Wipe it. Wipe in that section. You can even take a tea tree oil wipe and just wipe in that section like this. Okay? After you just go near. I noticed the Nigerian people do this. Like right before wash day, when they're about to wash their hair, while their hair is still twisted, they'll just kind of comb at the root, you know, in and out like that. To lift it up. Lift any from the sides. Okay? Yeah. If you're really chasing hair growth, you should not be worried about perfectionism with your hair when it's between washes. If you're really just wanting healthy hair, like planning your hair a lot, perfectionism, that disturbs the growth cycle. So doing this is like kind of pre-massaging. And you'll find that you have dry scalp in places you didn't even know you had. But you won't know until you do this. Okay, in different places. Dear. All right. So tonight I had a boiled egg and I had zucchini as a bedtime snack as an empress. So I could have had some seeds on the plate. Um, the empress eats a few times a day, very small meals. If you're having trouble with hair strength, I can tell you right now that your carbs may be not abundant. If you don't have high quality grain carbs, then you're not getting the rest of the estrogen. You know, you're basically you're not getting high quality estrogen, and you're not getting enough. Estrogen is literally one of the main things you need for hair growth. This is why women over 40, they say my hair is growing slower, falling out. Estrogen. Men don't struggle with estrogen that much. That's why their hair grows down to their knees their whole life. But when you're going through menopause, you have to, if unless you're getting estrogen injections, you need to get you an estrogen supplement at like Walmart over the counter, or you need to go and create your estrogen meal. You need the estrogen diet. So I recommend going online, looking up all the foods that are high in estrogen. Salmon, I think sweet potatoes. There's a couple more: sardines, tuna, mackerel. So you want to have a variety. Like most of your food should be estrogen. I noticed that the African American community, the women are eating food that is more for men. Okay, they're not eating enough to support their estrogen as they're aging. So they might be gaining weight, but their hair is not growing. Man food, I think it's testosterone, whatever it's called. It's for like it's a gainer. That their hormones are gainers. Our hormones is growth. Okay, growth, skin, hair, and also strength. Okay, so increase your estrogen intake. Literally look at least 3 of your meals and eggs. Is it high estrogen food? The high estrogen food are also the same foods usually that has the main vitamins that would create that would grow your hair faster. Um, People say their hair grow fast from olive oil. It's because olive oil is actually a superfood for a lot of people, a lot of African American women. Olive oil is a superfood. So eating olives, you can just eat olives. You know, olives is good. Also, olive oil is good for psyllium as well because it's a fat. I wouldn't eat olive oil because on the diets is normally for 4C hair, it actually says like no. But you can eat the olives. So you're better off eating the olives and just putting the olive oil on your skin and hair only. And not actually eating olive oil in its pure state. I know that people love to glamorize a high fat diet, but y'all. Most of the empresses did not eat high fat. They ate very low fat because the fat you eat is the fat you wear, like Dorian writers say. So there's no way that the empresses were eating a high fat diet. There's no way. So uh, consider going more, if you're a meat eater, more carnivore, and keeping your fat to the bare minimum, where you won't get hungry, but you're not adding any additional fat on your body. I find that when we see people with very long hair and they're really obese, it's not because um, the fat is growing their hair or whatever. It's because of all the extra protein that they're eating. They're eating kind of double, triple. So they're guaranteed to get long hair. But they're messing up their gut health, their liver, and um, their heart health is suffering. Don't sacrifice your heart health and organs for some long hair. So saying I'm just going to eat extra food, I'm just going to triple my food and go over my calorie maintenance so that my hair will grow, that's toxic. Don't sacrifice your body health for some hair. And at some point, when your body starts to fail, your hair will stop growing long, even though you're eating extra protein or extra food. Now, one thing I found out is low protein is often the suspect for slow hair growth. You think you got like 80 grams of protein, but how do you know that your body absorbed all the protein? Like, think about that. You counted your protein for the day, and you're like, yeah, I ate enough protein, so my hair and nails are going to thrive. There's no guarantee. You may not absorb all the protein. What I find, that taking things that help absorb protein helps to make sure that you get all the protein. So I smoke CBD, and it actually helps. CBD helps your hair because it helps the processing of fats and your protein. So it helps that all that stuff to get to where it needs to be in your body. So you may want to take some CBD gummies, CBD protein. If you ever look at our ancestors that were sitting around smoking peace pipes, their hair was very long. The Indian chiefs had hair down to here, and they were smoking CBD all through their day. So you might want to consider getting gummy bears. Okay, y'all? I know that cucumbers and zucchini grow here and the cranberries, because every single time I started putting them in my diet and eating a lot of them, as well as shrimp. Shrimp grows your hair. Shrimp grows your hair. And cod. Cod grows your hair as well. Cod, I know that my hair takes off. If I go on a seafood eating binge, shrimp and cod, my hair starts to grow fast. Now, my one friend, she ate a lot of salmon, and her hair was long, okay? Look at Hansi. Hansi, what are you freaking out for? Hi, bud. You jumping on me? You jumping on me, bud? Okay, y'all got to get ready to go. Thanks for listening, y'all. I will do a part 2 of this video. I like that I got 10 likes, that y'all really get the video. One thing I would do is I would start saving my hair every 2 weeks, so you can kind of see, like, is my hair in a shedding phase or is it more in a growth phase? So you can tell, okay? So, like, you may want to do an experiment for 3 months. Just put your hair in Ziploc bags and then date the bag, so you can be like, oh, okay, this much hair came out. So my hair is out of the shedding phase. It's more in the growth phase. So you can be able to tell, okay? Like, you can pretty much monitor, like, how much hair is actually coming out your hair every 2 to 3 weeks. All right. Bye, everybody. The detangler comb that I use, that a lot of people use with really long hair. My husband has very healthy long hair. My daughter has long hair. And this is the comb that I've always used, even when my hair was really long, when I wasn't getting haircuts. You can get this comb I think at Walmart. This is one of the best detangler combs. It's an old school 90s detangler comb. What is nice about it is because it has those spaces. See, instead of it being like all these teeth, it's just two teeth. See, it's just two teeth with a space. I don't like the detangler combs of the day because it's like all these little teeth. And it's like if you just jerk it the wrong way, one of those teeth might like break your hair. But with this, it's like all you do is you can go over the hair in different parts of the hair to make sure you detangled it. But see how that's round? See how that's round at the end? It's not going to cut your hair. See? That round tip. The little spiky detangler combs, I don't like them because it's like, the spikes. Okay, if you got fine fragile 4C hair, this gets very luscious when you put gel in it like mine. You want to use a round tip detangler comb, round tip. Okay. All right, you may think this is like, oh, that's a white person detangler comb. Remember that your hair, when you put products in your hair and shampoo, your hair texture gets leaner and fragile as if it's biracial or white people's hair. So you still want to use this comb. Okay? All right, bye everybody. I'll see y'all later. Bye. If you want to donate to the channel, you can donate to my Cash App at money sign Coach V Hunter. I gotta go brush my teeth, y'all. I got zucchini on my teeth. All right, bye, y'all.